風に帆を上げて冒険の旅さあ出発
Hello there, Gamerinos and Gamerinas. Welcome to UnicornStorm. This is Rady, and today I'm trying to tell you whether or not Worlds and Club is worth your while. And the first question I have about this game is, was it even necessary? So this is a mystery puzzle game created by Kotaro Uchikoshi, best known for his Zero Escape series, Takumi Nakazawa, who wrote and directed a number of visual novel and dating games in the past, and also by Kazutaka Kodaka, who might be most famous for his Danganronpa series. A game which I quite enjoyed. So yeah, I'm no stranger to these more story-heavy Japanese mystery games, which tend to get all lumped together under the umbrella term visual novel, which I don't agree with. There's a difference between a digital book with nice pictures and a game where you actually have to play and have a fail state. Both the Ace Attorney series and the Danganronpa series are often called visual novels, but I think there's just too much gameplay in it to really count as a visual novel. While you don't get to alter the events of the story, you have to solve puzzles and search the game world for items and clues. They are more like adventure games, with an emphasis on conversation. A huge emphasis on conversation. But they are written in an engaging way, and so you stay entertained throughout the hours of written dialogue. The stories were full of tropes and didn't always make perfectly sense, but it also wasn't too outrageous, and the character writing was mostly strong enough to compensate for smaller moments of stupidity. Enter Worlds and Club. The game is fucking dumb. It's all about a group of children on a field trip who witness a meteor striking down on Tokyo. They are knocked out and awake a while later in an underwater theme park, where they are forced to play a death game by a weird little entity. So yeah, this quite strongly reminded me of Danganronpa. There's this silly little creature who happily explains to the children that they have to kill each other so that one of them can survive. And if they don't play the game, well, they all will die. The game itself is quite interesting. And by that I mean the death game inside the game. Every student has a bracelet with a task for another student, and the student who finishes their task first wins the game and gets to leave the theme park. And these tasks can range from giving someone a hug to staying with someone until a few minutes before the end of an arbitrary time limit to eliminate everyone besides yourself. That's quite an intriguing concept. Too bad it's only for the first hour of the game. The death game is resolved so quick and in such a stupid way that it doesn't deserve any praise whatsoever. Characters are railroaded into stupid decisions, you don't get to make any meaningful choices, and the end of this chapter is either highly illogical or blatant and transparent foreshadowing. And with the writing of this game, I'm not quite sure what I think to be more likely. The whole concept of this game is throwing children into horrible and dangerous situations and see how they manage, how they work together, how they solve problems. Which again is quite interesting. The game just doesn't do anything with this premise. During the death game, most of the other kids eliminate themselves. And the one or two times you eliminate another kid, it's kinda presented as a heroic moment. And the game doesn't even waste a second to acknowledge that you might have just killed another child. But well, it doesn't really matter, because after an hour, the death game gets thrown out for a post-apocalyptic story where the children must travel a world devoid of humans to get back to Tokyo. And because that's not hard enough, the world is now also full of monsters and giant plants. And the children must work together and use their unique abilities to overcome the challenges before them. And well, this doesn't really work out. Because between every chapter there's a massive dispute between the children, and then they will have a vote on how to proceed. Which city they're going to travel to, how to deal with a certain situation, and well, it often results in a tie. And then the player can cast the deciding vote, in theory. Because the children just won't cooperate. No matter the results of the vote, the children stay in their chosen group and just proceed with the decision they made. So they split up. Your vote only decides which group you will follow. And often you don't even have all the information before you have to vote. But it doesn't really matter, because most of the time the NPCs as well as the player character just do stupid stuff on their own. Whenever there is a neat little set piece or situation, the game ruins it by some dumb bullshit the characters do. And it hurts double because story and character moments is pretty much all we have. There is some gameplay in the game, but it's utterly useless. The game presents itself as a side-scrolling adventure platformer, kinda like that. But the controls are stiff and weird, and there's really not much when it comes to complexity. You can run and jump, and you can climb up ledges. Sometimes there's a hole in the ground that triggers an instant game over, which isn't too bad because you just start over right before the challenge, if you can call it that. And sometimes you have to push some boxes to be able to reach a ledge. All the kids have some special abilities you have to use to solve puzzles, but it's very situational and, again, lacks any challenge or complexity. It's just here to remind you that you're playing a game. There was one clever puzzle in the game up until now, but it still was incredibly easy, so I solved it without much thinking. Still, I give it points for creativity. So yeah, this game really isn't worth anyone's time or money. If you're really interested in the story of the game, maybe watch a playthrough of it. I've heard a lot of good about the Zero Escape series, but after playing this I'm not so sure about it. But yeah, maybe I take a look at it just to see whether it's this game that's misguided or the whole genre concept as a whole. But yeah, with that I bid you adieu. Have a great day. That's it from Rady, and I hope to see you again on the next game.